Welcome to the GainzCast. I'm Marc Lobliner alongside
Matt Marano.
So we've had a little bit of time off. You know, obviously with everything going on in the world, we're refocusing the GainzCast a little bit.
Changing the format a little bit.
But the good news is that it's forcing us to be creative and write. So Matt actually put together a great article on CrossFit. Is it dead? And we decided to discuss it because it's something that I think is very relevant. We actually found there's a lot of articles, a lot of discussion on it. And Matt did a great job getting into it. Do you want to kind of give a basic of your thing and then we'll discuss if CrossFit is dead?
Yeah. So, I mean, a few years ago, everyone knew what CrossFit was. It was the big fitness craze.
Yeah.
You know, like I haven't seen anything like it since Tai Bo in the late 90s.
And CrossFit people, you ever had to guess who was in CrossFit because they'd fucking tell you.
Yeah, they're like vegans, but they actually lift.
Or they'd wear like one of those fucking rogue shirts or something that lets you know that they were in.
100%.
You know? And they'd be all fucking paleo. You'd go to lunch with them. It's be like, I'm going to get chicken and rice. They're like, oh, fuck rice. That shit ain't what our ancestors ate. I'm like, wait a second. What if our ancestors were from fucking Japan? Their shit's different than the shit that you ate, motherfucker. Like paleo diet. Fuck. Anyway, we haven't even gotten fucking 2 minutes into this, and I'm already going off about the fucking paleo diet. The paleo diet makes sense if you're North American, but you know the guys from Asia are looking like what the North Americans like the paleontologists or whatever, like the Jurassic Park guys, and they're like, the fuck, that ain't what we ate.
Bitch, there's hard soil evidence.
Yeah. It's terrible. That was Lil Dicky reference for those who are like, what? The earth go hard.
Earth go hard. Yeah, so CrossFit is kind of, I guess, seen more of a decline in the public eye. They had a couple controversies. They just, in 2019, full-blown pulled all of their social media. Well, Facebook and Instagram. They left Twitter up. But
why would you pull social media? They explained.
Okay, no, I didn't explain that in the article, but there was a group that Facebook took down. It was like a 7-day meal plan or something like that. Okay. It was a Facebook group. It had over 1 million followers, and Facebook took it down. So the CEO of CrossFit at the time, Greg Glassman, just decided to, I guess, kind of boycott Facebook and Instagram.
That doesn't work, by the way.
It does not work. They're too big.
Nah, dude. Nah, that's one reason we're not talking about politics here. Not that we got warned. Like, we're clean, and we're both. I mean, the thing is, you guys know we're independents, but certain topics you just stay off of, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing about Glassman is he's always been crazy. Like, the guy looks like he's fucking homeless.
He does. But
and
I mean,
richer than God, though. And God's rich, man. Like,
yeah. So obviously that was a losing battle, but he just did it with no explanation, and he left all of the CrossFit affiliated gyms, the games, the athletes, and all of the people who train CrossFit completely in the dark for as to what was going on for a few days. Which, if you know anything about people in the fitness community, a few days of not having their fitness program written for them is kind of, you know, especially in CrossFit, it's all handed down.
You need your WODs, and also like social media is where people like the way Facebook and Twitter works is so much better than YouTube for viral. Like, you can't really go viral on YouTube.
Not anymore.
But Twitter and Facebook, I mean, you never were able to share. Like Facebook and Twitter has retweets. Facebook has the sharing function where you're able to share an article just with a click of a button. So you could post something and all of a sudden it gets to Julie's followers, and then Becky's followers, and then Timmy's followers. And next thing you know, you have everybody posting this content. And that's how you go viral. YouTube, you don't have that option because there's no like users who actually interface with each other except a comment section, which is completely out of bounds.
It gets weird in the comment section.
It does. So Glassman, you know, just going into this, and I'll go into my opinion if CrossFit is dead. Glassman, and I am a CrossFit certified trainer. I did take the class, and I did it, and it was a great course. 2 days. It was as good of a instruction you're going to get.
I said in the article, first sentence, CrossFit is not my cup of tea, never has been.
Yeah.
But when done correctly with proper form, I think it is a viable training option if people enjoy it. If that's their style of training and they're doing it right and they're doing it safe, where CrossFit gets a lot of slack, or when they, you know, in the past when they got a lot of slack, is those kipping pull-ups and all that craziness when they're just throwing form out the window and trying to make time.
Well, there you go. There's no way to do CrossFit with proper form, because once you get into when you do reps and time and load, and you're competing for all three of those variables. There's no way your form is going to be on point when you're using a weight for a lot of reps. So if you're doing 185-pound deadlifts, by the 50th rep, I don't care if you're, I don't care if you're the world's strongest man, Eddie Hall. If you're doing deadlifts and you're going for reps or time, your form will break down. There is absolutely no way to have proper form in CrossFit. And I'm speaking as someone who did become a CrossFit trainer, who has written articles about CrossFit. What I've done, though, is through my programs, which they're somewhere on Tiger Fitness, is I've actually taken the moves and I've regressed them. So it's easier. Like, it's easier to do a partial snatch than to do a full snatch. I keep form on a partial snatch for 100 reps. Yeah. You can't do that on a full snatch. But where do I see, what I see is CrossFit affiliates, they're charged $3,000 a year for their affiliation.
Yeah.
And I believe it's more as you scale up in companies. I'm not sure. And for some gyms, that's a lot. Like, that cuts into all your profit for a lot of these boxes.
So that's why these boxes are more expensive than a typical gym, even though they have less equipment.
Yeah, and that's true. So a lot of these guys were trying to get out of their CrossFit agreement to begin with. And what better way to do it is when the CEO says the dumbest shit ever on social media. Now, this is not us speaking. This is what happened. This is reporting the news. So after the whole, like, they were talking about COVID, and then they had the BLM riots and all that.
Yeah.
And the guy literally Glassman wrote, it's Floyd 19.
Yeah. As the CEO of a company, you don't do that.
I don't even do that.
Especially one as close to the public eye as CrossFit was. Like, they had a national TV deal for their CrossFit games. They had multi-million-dollar sponsorships with, companies like Reebok that were pulled.
Yeah.
Glassman had to step down. It was this huge thing. And now Dave Castro, the guy who actually ran the CrossFit games in recent years and did all the documentaries on them, he is now the CEO. And it looks like it's going in the right direction, but even he's had his little bit of faults. There was, I didn't put this in the article, but there was a press conference that he did, and he was asked the question, the athletes on stage with you, they're great, but they all look the same. They're all white guys.
Oh, no.
And he kind of just sat there nodding his head, smiling. And, the crowd just started chanting, next question. And then a few seconds later, he ended the press conference.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do with that question? It's just, I don't.
It's like, hold on, let me get the black guy in the back.
Well, I mean, it's like, well, I want to see that question posed to hockey or even basketball. Like, look, here's the deal. Like, sometimes there's sports that just certain groups seem to gravitate towards, it's like, and it's due to some cultural things. Like, obviously you go and you look at hockey and they play it a lot in Canada. It's a pretty homogenous area, and it's a cold weather sport. It is what it is. And if you go to these areas where hockey's played, and there are some, and golf was like a country club sport, and the history of, the story about C.T. Fletcher when the house he just bought, back when his dad tried to buy it in 1970, they couldn't because the bank said no because they were black. So you have a country club sport like golf when, for years, decades, black people weren't allowed in country clubs.
I mean, same thing with tennis.
I mean,
it's a whole deal.
But then you have basketball where you can have, basically you just need a hoop. That's an easy sport. Every park has one. So it became a very multicultural event. You have soccer. Soccer is the most popular sport around the world for a simple fact. I remember I was taking my certification for coaching in soccer, and they had a video of literally kids in like school uniforms, like skirts in Africa, playing on a dirt field, like in a pit. And then they had, professional soccer. And then they had a elite academy team. And then they had literally poor kids in like Brazil with no shoes on. And that's the thing. You don't need much equipment. So, you look at CrossFit, it's not a racist sport. It just seems like some shit like suburban housewives would do. Like, it is what it is. So I don't think there's any getting around that. But is CrossFit dead? No, CrossFit ain't going anywhere.
No.
You know why I know this? Because I was driving here yesterday. Yeah. And I saw a Jazzercise studio.
And still around?
Jazzercise is still around. There's one right by Tiger Fitness headquarters. Jazzercise, all this stuff, it ain't going anywhere. Will it grow? I don't see CrossFit growing anytime soon.
I think it's kind of reached its natural plateau.
I think it was plateauing anyway. I think
it was getting to that point. I mean, it had a massive following with all of its social media combined. It had over 10 million followers. Now its Instagram account is, under 500K.
Yeah, and I think
never really crawled back from.
No, it's not going to crawl back. And I think that, Glassman, he was so successful because he was so reckless and fucking crazy. And that's usually successful people are a bit crazy. It is what it is. Like, I love him to death and he's a friend of mine, but like Jack Owak from Bang, he's a bit crazy. Like, look at his Instagram. Like, it's crazy. He wears the big B with the bling on it and he has a bunch of young girls dancing in his backyard swimming pool. And that's awesome. And I love him for it, but it's weird. But Jack's also, he's outspoken on his beliefs. So what happened is Glassman got a little too big for his britches. Yeah. But I mean, let's be real here. The guy's got enough money to not care. Money gives you this freedom where you can say whatever you want and know that no matter how bad they cancel you, you're still rich.
Yeah.
And that's where it's at. Now, what he said was ridiculous. I didn't have to speak out against it because I don't really promote crop, but it's kind of like the black squares on Instagram. If you didn't speak out again, if you didn't do something that day,
yeah,
you were automatically, your silence is deafening is what they say. So you have to speak out on certain things. So when Glassman said that, every CrossFit affiliate had to denounce CrossFit that day.
Yeah.
And then they had an out in their contract to get out of it. And a lot of CrossFit affiliates dropped. Even their dude, Rich Froning, has like, I'm out. And he's their guy.
He's the poster boy. Mayhem CrossFit. He owns it. I mean, him and Matt Fraser, they're the guys. Fraser's a little bit more loyal to the whole thing because he's their reigning champ. But
yeah, well, I mean, people, it's just like
I need this money.
The people who defected WBF back in the wrestling days, like they were generally not who defected to the WBF from the IFBB back when Vince McMahon tried to start his bodybuilding thing.
Yeah.
They generally weren't the guys winning the Olympia. They were the 5th, 6th, 7th guys going in. So if you're winning and you're making money with an organization, you're going to ride that train till it falls off the rails.
Yeah, and I think CrossFit as a company, they did enough quickly to stop the bleeding, but they just kind of put a really strong Band-Aid on a bullet wound. And then, then you had state mandated shutdowns where a lot of the boxes had to close. So their scheduling was off with competitions. They only held the main games. It was modified. Wasn't nearly the same. So is CrossFit dead? I think we got to wait until everything blows over and gets back to normal to see where it stands, where its status stands.
It's not dead. I just don't see it as strong of a competitor right now. I don't see people walking around wearing their CrossFit shirts. I don't see people walking around and being like, oh, you're a bodybuilder. Well, I can do 400 kipping push-ups. And I don't see that happening anymore. And I don't think that's going to be a thing.
The brand definitely took a long-term hit.
It did.
Hit.
So that's pretty much our thoughts. I want you guys to read the article on CrossFit that Matt wrote. It's really good. Give you some insight. It'll be linked down below. But what's really cool about our industry is it adapts, and there's always going to be some new things. But one thing I always say is that it always goes back to the basics, and that's weight training and cardio. And that will never die. Yeah, you might have a brief blip of jazzercise or P90X or band training or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, there's one thing we know for sure, and that's that lifting weights or resistance training combined with cardiovascular activity and proper diet is going to get you results. And that's why I keep saying, you know what, you could try whatever you want. You could do the newfangled thing. You could do your CrossFit. It's trendy, but it's not more effective than straight up old school resistance training combined with cardio.
But I think what made this fad of CrossFit have a little bit more lasting power than the other ones was that it was a combination of those three things.
Oh, absolutely.
Just in some weird Frankenstein's monster combination of them, but it was still that at its core.
And it played into people's need to belong to a group better than the other group.
Yeah.
Like you go to the gym and you're like, bodybuilders, y'all can't even tie your fucking shoes. I'm a CrossFitter. Sure, I have no muscle, and all my form's fucked up, but I'm functional, bro. I'm totally more functional than you. And it is what it is, dude. People want to be better than the other person. they're with. People just want to be better. It's the old, it's a main reason I see religion doing what it does, because people are like, I was told once by a friend of mine in high school who's currently in prison, dead serious, that I'm going to hell and I'm not as good as him because I'm Jewish. Literally, this motherfucker told me that. And I said, I would punch you in the face, but this is funny. But I agree. I mean, we don't even believe in hell.
No, we don't.
But it's fucking insane that's the human condition, man. You want to be better than your neighbor. You will go through, and if you're not, you will go and find something you're better at. Just rub it in their face. And that's what CrossFit was for a while. Like these guys, and most CrossFitters, now again, it was one of the nicest people, one of the best class I ever took. But like their fringe element, the CrossFitters, the ones who normally suck at it.
Yeah.
They were just so elitist.
It's definitely not just elitist, but because of that elitist nature, it's got kind of a cult-like aspect to it. Or I guess from the outside, it's like, all right, I don't know. It seems weird.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely, it had its moments.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, man, that class, they had great teaching, great instructing, some of the greatest instruction I've ever had in fitness. It was a well put together course. It was well thought out, very qualified individuals. It was right up there with Exos, man. It was good. It was really, really, really good.
I believe it.
You never done CrossFit?
No. No, I haven't. I worked at a CrossFit gym in New York. My cousin owns a CrossFit gym in Connecticut, and I just said,
no, it's not for me.
Not for me.
There's a lot going on.
I snapped my body up enough. Like I don't need.
Yeah, you got more injuries than me, and you're young. Like Jesus Christ. Yeah, but I honestly think it'll still be there.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere, but it won't be as popular as it was.
But they had everything involved. They had a nutrition segment of that training. They had a training portion. They had a lifestyle. It was just fucking great. Like their workbook, the amount of good materials that came with that course was just phenomenal.
I believe it. It seems like a really well-rounded program at its core.
Yeah, it's just not, again, I'm a bodybuilder, but I know how to train it. I know how to teach it. I got my fucking license or whatever it's called. And we're on our way. So what else is going on in the world, man?
I mean, a lot, but not a lot, Yeah, no, not a whole lot. Just training, trying to lose some weight, get ready for the summer.
So speaking of which, we have a boxing event coming up.
Oh, yeah.
So I just got everything for May 8th, and it's all going to be completely trying to get it completely sanctioned with USA Boxing. So the judges, the ref, and there'll be a doctor provided by USA Boxing. It's going to be in conjunction with Music City Boxing in Nashville. We're getting a bunch of other clubs involved. So we're going to have probably, I'm guessing, 20 to 50 undercards. Okay, 20 to 50 undercards. And it's all going to go to charity. All the profits are going to go to charity. This will cost a good amount to put on, so I want to at least recoup some of our costs so we're not out like $80,000.
Yeah.
But we'll recoup some of the costs. But it's going to be in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Carbon Culture, in the parking lot, because it's going to be May 8th in Tennessee. It's going to be gorgeous out, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the beautiful thing about this is we have a couple headliners. We got Kenny KO going up against Big Boy Cannon. And you're fighting that Jared kid?
Jerron,
sorry.
Jerron Fit, yeah.
That's going to be interesting. You outweigh him by 70 pounds.
I outweigh him by 70 pounds. I've got, I don't know how much height on him, but
he called you out though.
Kid wants the smoke, so we're going to go. It would be, it's
but
one of
you've
those
never
things,
boxed, right?
No, I've never boxed, and I've seen him box, and it's not the best, but it's just, it's one of those things where you look at the matchup and he challenged me. I can't say no because it's too good of a first fight to have matchup wise, but I also kind of feel like a bully because it's not fair to him at all. I'm still going to do it. But
well, I mean, he called you out.
He called me out.
If you get called out by Urkel, you got to do it.
Exactly.
I don't answer call outs anymore.
No.
It's just not beneficial for me. But
no, but I'm 28 and have an ego. So
yeah, I get called out by companies that knock off my products and they get mad when I call them out on it.
Oh man.
Oh, and then we put their product out of business, basically.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do they even have a product anymore?
Nope. Bitches. No. But I mean, it was on a business note. Next thing you know, this guy every week is doing a post calling me out for a fight. And I'm like, bro, like that's not how it works. If you get destroyed in business, you don't call someone, you don't challenge to fight somebody, you do something better in business. But I guess he pretty much relinquished the fact that I'm better than him in that. Yeah. So now he wants to fight me. I outweigh him by like 50 pounds. What's up with these little guys wanting to fight me, man?
It's got to be a Napoleon complex.
Jesus, I'm not giving him the time of day. That gives him more clout than I did. You know, it's like, what do I get for if I win? It's like, you should have won. You were bigger than him.
You don't punch down.
And if I lose, I'm not going to punch up either. You think I'm going to fight Mike Rashid?
Hell no.
Shit. I ain't punching at all, man. The only thing I'm punching is like a time clock when I come into work. I ain't punching shit. I don't even hit my wife, man. She'll beat my ass. Not because it's wrong. Don't hit a woman. Nah, she's Italian. I wake up with a fucking horse's head in my bed. Not even a fuck with hell no. Hell no. No. Nah, but I would never hit a woman. I'll shake the shit out one though. Girl, what you doing? You remember Chris Rock? You didn't bring them. Okay. Yeah, I think this boxing match can do good because we're going to give a lot to charity. It's going to be a lot of local fighters, but we're going to intersperse the headliners. Obviously, I think Kenny KO and Big Boy Cannon. Now, Big Boy Cannon is a really large man. I don't think people understand how large this man is. Like, he's large and he fights. Like, this is what he does. Kenny KO seems to think he's Mike Tyson now. So he looked, so the first time I saw him fight, he posted, he beat up this physique guy. And, I was like, that's bad fighting. But the last time he showed some stuff, I'm like, he's actually getting pretty good. Like it's actually going to be a really good fight. I think Kenny, I don't want to fight him now. Like the guy looks like he get hit. I don't want to fight him at all. If I don't fight anybody, it's going to be that guy from the company, right? Like, I know Kenny might actually hit me. It might hurt. I'm not going to get knocked out. I've never been knocked out, but I don't want to get hit. And frankly, my body's just starting to heal. Like Julian, so we set up the boxing matches, got everything coordinated this morning, got the ring set up. Fucking, I'm doing this right. It's going to be so awesome, man. Sanctioned. Oh, by the way, it's not going to be this bullshit you see on Kenny's channel. No offense, Kenny, where they're literally in a ring with a fucking, like, a referee they got off the street, like without headgear.
This is going to be a legit
This
USA
is a legit
boxing.
fucking sanctioned match where there's going to be headgear, standardized 16-ounce gloves. We're going to have your wraps checked. We're going to have you're going to have your doctor on site. We're not, dude, I have too much stuff to lose. Like, I'm not going to risk having a fucking boxing match where I get sued because someone gets their fucking head knocked off, which might happen. Because there's a lot of good local fighters and gyms who hate each other out here, I found out.
Ooh, we got some rivalries then.
There are some rivalries. There's Murfreesboro and Nashville. They're only 30 minutes away, so they have a little beef going on. You got the bumfuck redneck towns where they just sit out there and fight in their barns. They're going to be in. But everybody, you know what? If you want to fight, you can. You can register for this. We're going to get it all set up where you can get a hold of me or Matt. And we'll put your name. Now, this is going to be open to everybody. You don't have to be along to a gym. You could be from Ohio. You could be from Tennessee. You could be from Florida. You could drive your ass in. We'll provide hotel information. My name will get group rates for you guys. And we want to get as many fights as possible. So if you want to challenge somebody, challenge them and I'll host it and we'll have it right where people aren't going to get hurt, where it's going to have a ref who knows when to stop the fight. Again, I'm watching Kenny's channel. I'm like, yo, whoever's gym is hosting this without headgear in a match that's televised as a match or on YouTube, that's risk. Yeah. I don't want risk. And I don't want anybody getting hurt.
And that's not like a professional fight either. That's just some amateur BS, them in the ring. But like,
now getting the sanctions easy. They just need to have one more test. They have one more fight in Tennessee. He was explaining it to me. It should be done easily. If not, it will be an exhibition. If we get it the way I want it, we will have, and you're just finding out about this too. We're going to have, it's going to go on an official win-loss. You're going to have to register with USA Boxing and it's going to be legit. So if you win, you legit are a amateur boxer with a 1-0 record. A legit 1-0 sanctioned record, not an exhibition. A sanctioned match, not like Tyson, not like his last fight, sanctioned by USA Boxing. There will be 3 2-minute rounds as amateurs get. So none of this weird stuff. Now, it's
straightforward. There's no negotiating your fight. This is what you get. This is the fight style. This is the fight time. This is how many rounds, and this is the way it's going to be.
It's an actual sport. Like, I'm not going to disrespect the sport of boxing.
Yeah.
By putting together, and again, I love what Kenny's doing. But and I love the fact he's coming and he's taking on this challenge. But I think it's
Logan Paul syndrome.
I don't know, but Logan's actually fighting in real fights.
Yeah.
Like these are not sanctioned. These are just him fighting somebody, sparring.
But that's how Logan started, was he was training with, that Ryan Garcia kid.
Yeah, but he was training with him. And
he was getting punched in the face by him for viral videos.
They're wearing headgear though.
No.
Yeah, that's stupid. I'm not even the biggest fan of headgear, but again, amateurs should wear headgear. It is what it is. Like anybody who's sparred with or without headgear, and I've done both, you get clocked without headgear, man. It's a different world you're living in. I just want to make sure everybody's safe. You know, I also don't want to get sued. I don't care if you die. I just don't want to get sued. No, I'm just kidding. But no, that's what, so it's on. Like this is going to be the biggest fucking event in fitness history. I know Brandon's going to be there because it's his gym.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to we'll clear his schedule. I'm pretty sure he's free. Try and get Mike, try and get the whole Ambrosia squad. You know, obviously everybody in the industry, because there's also going to be, there's a gym. So people can also go train, hang out in the gym. We'll have a little trade show. We're going to invite all our friends.
We'll get some booths going, man.
We'll invite our friends like Blackstone Labs. I'm sure they're going to be there. They sponsor Kenny, and we're the #1 retailer of Blackstone Labs at Tiger Fitness in the world. We're going to have a good companies there. John Meadows, we'll have him there. We're not going to charge these vendors either, but I will ask them. And I'm just coming up with this as we talk.
For donations.
And we're going to keep this, and we're going to listen to this video because I'm going to forget what I just said. And we're going to have it where you can donate. We're going to recommend they donate $500, I'm guessing, to have their booth space, but it's free. But all the money is going to go to donations or to cover the cost of this event. And one thing we did get some shit. People were like, "Oh, you funneled the money from Real Weights." No, we didn't. We didn't even, in that case, we didn't even cover cost. We literally ate it. We ate like $30,000 in cost. Yeah. By the time we were said and done, not even counting opportunity cost.
Right.
So we're going to get this taken care of, but we do need to cover this one. This is going to be one time we get rings. And I'm almost hoping we don't get the USA boxing thing. We just do exhibitions because that's going to cost a lot of fucking money. But you know,
I mean, I'm kind of hoping for the USA boxing thing to make it more legit so we can get all these fighters.
I do. No, the fighters are going to do it. The local fighters are in.
They're in for the exhibition.
They're in. But you got someone trying to pad their amateur record.
Hell yeah.
From Tennessee. He's in the fight. He's going to take the fight because they try to get as many wins or as many fights, not even wins because it doesn't really matter. They want to get as many fights as possible so they can get their pro status.
Got it.
They want that experience in the ring. And and also for you amateur boxers out there, man, what better way to get your name out there? Win as an amateur boxer, are you going to be on Mike Rashid's channel? Are you going to be on Marc Lobliner's channel? Are you going to be on Brandon Curry's channel? Are you going to be live streamed? Are you going to be televised? Are you going to have this is going to be the biggest thing for amateur boxing we've ever seen. And this isn't some ragtag exhibition, man. This is a real fight. We're doing this right. We're going through the proper channels.
You know what? I think we can make it work where we get each fight recorded in some capacity.
Oh no, we're definitely going to make that work. We're going to have that set up. Jason and Jason, our two Jasons, will be able to figure out, and we're going to live stream it. We're going to live stream the hell out of it.
Hell yeah. And
it's going to be fucking awesome. We just got to, and again, they have good internet out there.
You can do a charity live stream. Get that going.
Well, I just want people to do. Last time we got over, I think 40,000 or 50,000 donated just online.
Sweet.
And so people around the world can donate to this. And a lot of people, we just need to figure out a charity or charities. I'm thinking of doing 3 charities and splitting it in thirds.
Okay.
Like I want to support small business. I want to support the military. And I don't know what, so it's just a matter of, and I asked Music City for who they want to support. So we're going to really work on this. What's really funny is we're doing a podcast, but we're actually just figuring this out as we go.
This is also a business meeting.
Yeah, really. We were going to talk about this anyway. So there's a lot going through my mind, but I'm glad I hooked up. My old coach, he actually got me ready for my fight. Julian set this all up. And it's going to be really amazing. And it's going to bring together a ton of people. And it's going to bring a good message from the bodybuilding and the boxing community coming together for the first time to bring you legit boxing. Again, not this backyard bullshit of people calling each other out, like a real boxing, real sanctioned event. And I'm not, as you guys know, I don't do anything half-ass. If we do something, we're going to do it right. So today, my goal is to get with Mike, get with all the other influencers I know, tell them about this event. We'll put together a little write-up and some marketing. And I want to make sure we blow this up. But first, I'm going to send I'm meeting with Brent tomorrow about it.
Okay.
They're all set. They said whatever weekend we need. Brandon, obviously, just make sure we'll check with their schedule. And we should be good. But anyway, guys, that's the GainzCast. Hope you guys, so you got CrossFit going on. And we also got the big announcement, huge announcement about the boxing event going on May 8th in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So GainzCast is back. We're going to try and keep it around 30 minutes, but we're going to have guests. If there's any guests you want on this.
And guests we won't cut time on if the conversation's flowing nicely.
Yeah, we want guests on here as long as possible. But right now, it's just us. We just had some announcements. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. See you next time.